Greetings, one and all, from the White Mountains of Arizona. We're on a little hike today in our backyard neighborhood. Just got ran off by some dogs, but we found a nice, cozy place to do some channeling. It's a beautiful day today, a little breezy. I hope that doesn't affect the microphones. But last week we talked about the Andromedans, and they filled us in on Earth and how there's multiple frequencies of Earth and multiple polarities of Earth. And we kind of touched on the crimes. Tara and I have done a lot of channeling off camera. We've also done a lot of meditating on the crimes. And we've come to understand that Earth, in a way, you could look at it in a way, Earth is a prison planet. And each and every soul that's on this planet or around this planet has committed some sort of free will violation. And we have to atone for that. And so we're here on Earth atoning for our free will violations. Kind of a test to see if we learned what we did. Oh, look, there's our home. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. That's us right there. Yeah, we had a little hike today. So we want to get more information on this. We have some base information. We want to get more today, and that's what we're hoping to do. We don't know who we're going to channel yet. We're going to see who is best to answer our questions. And that's ascension, guys. The whole point of ascension is to learn from your crime, to stop doing it. So we'll give some time for Tara to connect. Let's look at the scenery here. We believe there's some Anasazi ruins that way. But we found them once, so we can't ever find them again. So.
Okay.
Oh, she's ready. All right, who are we connected to?
We're connected to those diamond beings again.
The Andromedans?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. They're back to answer some questions for us.
Yes.
Okay. It is our understanding that Earth is a school / prison for us to learn about our crime, our free will violation. Is this true?
Yes, it's many things at once.
It's a school and a prison.
It could be seen as a prison, as a school, as a feeding ground, as a testing ground, as a place to conquer and a place to free.
Okay, so today we want to look at it from the prison aspect. Is it true that all the souls on Earth have committed a free will violation?
Yes, that is one of the layers.
And what is our purpose for being here on Earth?
You can imagine a small little group of planets with a little star, and all of those beings are in a controlled environment in which they can not only grow, but also learn a lesson, but many lessons. One main lesson for being in the controlled environment is through the violation of free will. But while in that environment, it doesn't feel much like a prison at all. This allows you the chance to grow and continue your mission in developing your soul while at the same time learning a very unique lesson about what it is to violate free will.
Okay, so this is a chance for us to reflect on, could it be called a mistake since it's a violation of the universal law?
It is a violation of the law, but we try not to use the word mistake, as that means something that you shouldn't have done. And it's perhaps a difficult concept. Just like on Earth, there are times when you should fail and make mistakes. Otherwise, you wouldn't fully understand what it means when you do succeed. So if you were to violate free will, then you truly understand what it means to have free will and why it is so important. So it's not really a mistake per se.
Right. So violating free will is a way to grow in this universe,
Exactly.
but it comes with the cost.
Yes.
We are stuck in a low vibration as a result.
You are just at the vibration of your so called mistake, but you can also raise your vibration. This is why you're in a somewhat free environment, albeit controlled environment, where you're allowed to be your own person, make your own choices, connect with who you feel you connect to, and also awaken if you feel you need to do so.
So the choice is ours to do whatever we want on this planet.
Yes, it is your playground.
And those who wish to ascend have to come to terms with this free will violation in some way.
Yes,
Can we ascend without understanding our free will violation?
it would be difficult if you didn't fully understand the concept of free will, because you must utilize your free will in order to ascend. So you must know what it means to have your free will taken away and also to have it taken away by you.
Okay, did our crime occur simultaneously across all dimensions?
In a matter of speaking, yes. Just as, let's say, now you are asking me questions in 4D, that would look a particular way where perhaps you are the one being questioned. In 5D, perhaps you are understanding what it means to have the question and the answer. It's a variation of the same type of energy.
Can you give us some tips on understanding our own unique crime?
When you go inwards, and as we have spoken in our last channeling about understanding the two, what you might see as phantom planets, your most positive aspect and your most negative aspect, if you can understand that they are just aspects of you, and although they are a part of you, nothing, not one single thing ever defines you, and you can accept that you have a darker aspect as well as accepting that you have a more positive aspect, then you can dive deeper into a, let's say, free will violation. You're more open to looking at things that you may have done that have caused others harm, but instead of berating yourself, take it as a learning chance to understand your time here on earth, to understand yourself better, to understand those around you who have had their free will violated and are continuing to violate free will. You start to see yourself in everyone around you, and you understand that we're all here to help each other to see both that light and dark aspect. And when you bring yourself into unity and you can accept this darker aspect of yourself as well as your lighter aspect, everything just becomes a situation instead of a definition of who you are. No one instance is a definition of who you are, but just a multitude of situations. And you start to see it from this higher perspective. And this is how you grow. And this is how you accept your free will violation, and also that free will is very important to you and that you want to offer this to others so that then you may ascend.
Are we continually playing out our crime here on Earth in 3D?
Yes, it's much like the tests perhaps your scientists may carry out. The You were watching about it yesterday, nature versus nurture. And if we allow beings to be in a controlled environment, will they continue to play out an energy in which they are stuck in because the environment is pushing them to do so, or because of it is an energy inside of them that is unhealed that is causing them to do so. Which is it? Perhaps it is both, because the outside world is also you. So perhaps you are pushing yourself. So perhaps nature and nurture are that exactly the same thing. And you are constantly reenacting something because it is something that is unhealed and unaccepted within you.
Wow. So we have but to understand our shadow aspects, perhaps using the alternate Earths, perhaps using the satellites and anti satellites to help us see our dark aspects.
Yes, of course. And it is something that in your society, people tend to turn away from the darker aspect. But remember that society is also you. So, really, you're telling yourself from the outside to look away from the darker aspect only because it is unhealed. But also, this occurs with people with their light side. Perhaps the outside world is trying to bring your vibration down, as you might say, but the outside world is you as well as your inside world. So, in essence, you are trying to bring down your own vibration. You are afraid of your own light. And Gaia is you. So, as an orb in this vast energetic landscape, you are all trying to understand that it is okay to heal. That is the one major lesson. It is okay for Gaia. It is okay for you. It is okay for the animals, for the plants to heal. But you must accept that you have polarity and no one being is better than the other if you are all equal.
Okay, all is one. If we continually commit our free will violation here on Earth, that keeps us stuck and that extends our prison sentence?
Yes, this is why you are in a controlled environment so that you can see at a smaller level, in your very personable level, what it looks like on a grander scale. Where if you do not choose to heal in your personal life, how that affects every aspect of your life in your relationships with your children, your parents, your careers, where you choose to live. An unhealed self makes choices from that unhealed area, much like the world at large is making choices from an unhealedness.
Okay, I'm going to present to you a scenario. You tell me if this is accurate. Um, let's say the reptilians or whatever 4D entity is harvesting energy from souls on Earth. That's a free will violation. And so as a result, humans on Earth commit the same violation against cows, pigs, chickens, plants. We're just doing what's being done to us. Is that accurate?
Yes, in essence, instead of taking a physical thing, what it is all energy. Those you call reptilians do not find worth in themselves. They are operating from an unhealed place, just as you.
Right.
From that unhealed place, they have, you've made jokes about it before, a hole inside of them. They choose to fill it with something outside themselves. They don't yet see that you are them, so they are trying to fill it with your energy, thinking that they must have something external in order to feel whole, when really all they need do is go inside to heal that hole, feel whole as in WHOLE,
Right.
and they would no longer need this external energy. Since you are them as well, as all is one, you continue to steal energy from those beings around you, plants, animals, sometimes other people, sometimes crystals, sometimes the air you breathe, trying to fill the hole of your inadequacy in which you believe you are.
So whenever there's an uneven exchange of energy, that's a violation.
Exactly.
So whenever we're taking more than we're giving, we're continuing our crime
Yes.
and we're extending our sentence here on Earth.
Yes.
because we're not seeing what we're doing.
Yes.
So once we start eating source, what will change?
We would prefer to say, instead of eating source, that you are source.
Right.
You realize you had never left source. And in that instance, you are whole. You do not need to consume, so to say. You don't need to consume the sun. You do not need to consume the flesh of others, the flesh of plants, the flesh of animals. No longer a need to consume because there is no hole to fill, as you are already WHOLE.
So understanding that we are all things, we are all one, one is all. That's the moment we ascend, once we truly understand that, or is there more to go?
It's as simple as that. You are whole, and a wholeness understands that there is polarity within one and within the whole, and we accept that, and we accept all situations that have ever occurred as a situation for learning. Oftentimes, emotions can drive us and not understand exactly where those emotions come from. Let's take, for instance, what is currently happening in your world. There is always a war of some sort. And so people will see the suffering in this war. They feel the hole inside themselves where they too suffer. They want to end the suffering of those people. So they want to destroy. They want to make it go away instead of understanding that it's they who suffer on the inside. And what is happening with the external is just that. It's an external representation of what is happening on the inside. Even those who are currently engaged in war, if at once they all understood that this was all occurring because of a feeling of inadequacy within themselves, the war would stop instantly. And instantly, as one, as a whole, as a group, Mama Gaia herself, all would ascend.
So we're really close, but individuals are close, but the collective has more learning to do.
Usually, humans like things to be neat and tidy. We all need to hold hands at once, and then we ascend.
Ugh.
And understanding that there is no time outside of your world. You are in a controlled environment. In a controlled environment, you are given the illusion of linear time. So perhaps, let's say, in this present moment, in your linear time, 1.2 million people are ready to ascend. Let's say a few million others are not ready to ascend. Then you have many who are in the middle, undecided whether they wish to ascend or not, based on their feelings of inadequacy. In the outside of this controlled environment, it would seem as though the entire world and her people ascended at once. In your world, it would seem as some ascended now, some ascended later, some ascended much later. But in actuality, it's all at once.
Okay, so it's just in this simulation, things appear fragmented and separate, but they're not.
Yes, and this is also why it makes it so difficult sometimes for each of you. You feel you must all be on the exact same page. You all must have the same belief. And this is what causes much of your wars, because you are not in agreement with yourself on the inside. Therefore, your external self is not in agreement ever.
Wow. So I guess the best advice to light workers now is to go inwards, look at your shadows, look at the shadows of society and see how they relate to each other.
Yes.
Go into the alternate earths and see your high polarity and see your low polarity, as well as society's high and low polarity.
Yes, and realize that all it is something to show you something about yourself, and just accept it. There is no good, there is no bad, There is no judgment upon you, as many belief systems would teach, but it just is. It just is. It is just a lesson for you to understand what it means to be a whole being. Some people look at source as the ultimate good, but source is polaric in this realm. It is negative, it is positive, it is neutral, because you are all of negative, positive, and neutral. And it doesn't hate upon itself. It also doesn't believe itself to be high and mighty. It knows that it all just is, that you are all just aspects of the same thing.
So it sounds like to me ascension is release.
Yes.
Release belief systems, programmed thinking, release separation.
It's like being able to take a breath of fresh air. Finally, a deep breath after years of wearing a corset.
Wow. Another fantastic channeling. I love you so much, and I thank you for being here with us today. Do you have any last message before we go?
I think we have been succinct.
Thank you.
Whew. Hey. Whew.
Yeah.
Feels like a good energy.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless.
Whew.
Do you remember most of that?
Most of it, yeah. I think it's a little easier to remember with those beings.
Yeah.
Still a crystalline being, but obviously a different entity, I guess we were speaking with. It seemed more, I don't know, because they don't really have a hierarchical system. It just seemed older,
Right.
is all it seemed like. Yeah.
Okay, well, the message seems pretty clear. Like, don't be ashamed of your crime. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You had to do it. You have to learn from it. And learning from it is ascension.
Yeah, it was like kind of showing me oftentimes, like, let's say if we feel ashamed of something that happened in our past, we continue to make choices in order to like punish ourselves
Right.
in our present because we feel so bad about what happened in the past. And it was like, it was just a thing that happened, but that doesn't define you.
Well, let me share what we think of as my crime to help people understand their crimes. I was in some higher dimension, higher realm. I was tricked into believing that I could become a supreme entity if I was able to merge my polarities.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than merge my polarities, I decided to get rid of half of myself. And that was a free will violation because that half of myself didn't want to separate from me.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, going back, looking at my life, I've just kept on doing that over and over. I've just been so willing to X people out of my life without so much as a question. And so I'm just continuing my crime over and over and over. And I need to learn that all those negative aspects and those positive aspects, they're all me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't run away from them. It's me. I got to look at it.
Yeah. And I think it was saying that that's like, of all the things and all the layers and all the lessons that we learn here, like that's the one biggest thing, is just to accept who you are. And that seems to be the thing, and all any news thing that we've ever had is not accepting one's religion, not accepting one's gender, and not accepting your race or whatever.
Those people are evil. We are good.
Yeah, they're bad people, but it's like, but they're aspects of you. And instead of berating yourself for it, just say, okay, it is what it is.
It is. Yeah.
Let's heal.
Right. Well, I mean, another fascinating channeling. Guys, if you are resonating with these, we ask that you please share them. We get our views, but we'd love to spread our message, not even our message, the message that we're just the messengers. Right?
Yeah, we're just the messengers, just the channel.
Yeah, we want to spread this higher knowledge. So if you could share on your social media, tell your friends, tell your family. I know this is way out there for most people, but if you share it with enough people, one of those people is going to resonate with it, and they're going to get something valuable from it.
Yeah, and like they said, we don't all have to be on the exact same page at the exact same time, because we operate a little differently than on the outside. On the outside, it's, oh, they all ascended together, you know. So anyway, yeah, let us know
Questions,
your
comments,
thoughts.
thoughts?
All
Tell us
those
what you think.
good things. I gotta go ground, man.
Yeah, we'll go home. I showed them our home. We got to go back over there and ground. Boy, it sounds like a dog kennel around here, man. We've been chased off by dogs already. So we're going to go head straight home, I think.
All right, well, we'll catch you
Somewhere
guys in
over
the
there.
next one.
All right, bye.
Bye.